Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my show for the first time in almost 4 months. I took a bit of a hiatus, or whatever you want to call it, but I'm back. This channel is not inactive, never was, never meant to be, but we're back tonight for the first time since April. And tonight we've got a bare knuckle fighter with us in the from across the pond, or wherever he's joining us from today, and he is here to talk all things bare knuckle, as well as plenty other topics as well, which may come onto our conversation. But he's here to promote his upcoming fight in September on the 16th on Bein Sports, a part of the BYB Extreme show, and let's get right into it. Please welcome to the show my guest this evening. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Kealii Kanekoa, and yes, I am a signed BYB Bare Knuckle fighter. I will be fighting in Biloxi, Mississippi, September 16th. Aloha. And yeah, thank you for having me a part of your show, Edward. And I look forward to getting to know you a lot more as we get into my life story.
Yeah, and not just that, but I mean, you kind of already been following me for a while now with with my social media for a while, and I would love to know how you came across my Instagram, because that's where that's how you where you followed me, and that's when I followed you back, type thing. But I didn't know you were a bare knuckle fighter at that time. I just having to take a sneak peek. I couldn't really tell what you were, but now going back on it a few weeks ago, I thought, oh yes, I know. I can now understand why he followed me. But I think I know why you followed me, because I did another interview about 2 years ago with a fighter called Haim, and he was based out in Israel, and he was doing a bit of bare knuckle, a bit of MMA type deal, and he was fighting from Israel to New York type thing, and was good friends with Goldberg. So and that's around when you followed me on Instagram, was around that time. So I mean, I don't know, there might be no connection there, but I'm going to throw it out.
I mean, that was very good memory. 2 years ago, a lot had happened since 2 years ago. But purpose of the follow, I saw that your content was very amazing. So
thank you.
I was very intrigued with how you carry yourself, and also how you provide a platform for not just fighters, but also people that are very well known in their career or their area of expertise. So yeah, I was actually very interested on getting on your show when I was fighting for Bailey's fight night. I believe that was for Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy promotion, and I wanted to promote my fight a lot more during that time. So like I believe I reached out. I'm not too sure if I did. Sorry, forgive me if I didn't reach out and that was inaccurate information. But yeah, promoting that fight, that would have been great to actually like be a part of your show during that time. But that was more so the following, the purpose behind the following. But again, amazing content. You're amazing person. You do very well with your show, and like I said, I look forward to sharing more about myself with the bare knuckle community. Also, my heritage, my family, and a little bit more about myself.
Absolutely, and you're always welcome to come back on the show again. You know, I say that, but then nobody does come back on the show. It's not like I'm, blocking anybody. It's not because of that. I don't have no control over that. Why would I block people? So when I say you can go on my show whenever you want, you can come back on my show when you want, and I truly mean that. So apologies, we couldn't do something promoting your other fight, so apologies for that, but I feel like this fight is as equal or as more important for your career than anything else so far, because on a good nationwide network, everybody knows Bein Sports, and that's a great platform for bare knuckle fighting.
Correct. A very good platform, and BYB is like ever evolving, so the best thing about it is that we're not just going to be well established in Bein Sports, but also bigger promotions later on in the future. So I'm actually happy that I solidified my contract with BYB and everyone with the BYB Extreme family. So I'm super blessed and grateful.
No, absolutely. I would love to know as well, like how you got actually. From my views, may not know anything about you here this evening. So, so I want to go and know more about you and why you've gone down this particular, path. Because you could have, done a lot of different things in the sports world, but what made you to go into the bare knuckle side of things?
To be honest, it brings me back to my childhood days. I grew up bare knuckle boxing or fighting, I guess, street fighting, I guess you could say, a lot similar to the backyard fights that Kimbo Slice used to hold and the events that he used to hold back in the day. So I guess in a way that I'm paying homage to what created me and what started me off with fighting. At that point, I didn't know that I had the talent, but then again, as I was evolving more into the combat sports of it, I started falling in love with combat sports itself, the martial science part of it.
Pretty cool. And, and you've done it quite well for yourself so far. And as you were growing up as well, was there anybody you were inspired by and thought, well, if he can do it, then I can do it type thing, or anything like that?
No, not really. I live by this saying, your idols become your rivals. So basically all the people that I did look up to in UFC, I assumed someday I wanted to actually compete against them. The reason why, because you never know how good of a fighter you are until you actually test yourself against the greatest people in the world. So that was always my agenda, I guess, fighting against people that I used to look up to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense indeed. It's a different perspective on things. Right. So instead of meeting them and being like a fanboy around them, you wanted to get in the cage or the octagon or whatever it may have been, the ring or whatever, and try to get the upper hand and try to earn their respect in a different kind of way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can dig that.
I guess I could say that I looked up to a specific fighter. I grew up on the same island as him, and I pay homage to him and his camp, because if it wasn't for his training facility, I probably wouldn't be able to hone the skills that I have now. So major shout out to BJ Penn himself, Hilo Boy over in Hawaii. I guess I can say that he was someone that inspired me, and not just me, but also very well-known fighters in Hawaii. Max Holloway is one of them. We have Kamuela Kirk, the Juwine, quite a few other people that are coming out from Hawaii that are making a big name for themselves. So I guess I can say that was part of my inspiration into the mixed martial arts or fighting itself, combat sports.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Of course, Max Holloway, probably one of famous people on the planet nowadays, isn't he? But I mean, he's made his mark, and I'm sure you will do the same thing on September the 16th in this big fight field. As I'm going to now show the people at home, if I use the right button, a bit rusty, ladies and gentlemen, so do bear with me, of me trying to share the screen here of the big fight between my guest and his upcoming opponent, which is going to happen on September 16th, as you can now see on your screen. And it's going to happen Bein Sports, Saturday, September 16th in Mississippi. And a great place to have the big cruiserweight bare knuckle matchup between yourself and it's going to be against Lebanon Mohamad.
I believe Gorabi.
Yes.
I'm not too sure. Yeah, Gorabi Mohamad.
That's him.
Major shout out to him for accepting the fight.
And who came with it first? Was it yourself suggested it to the BYB people, or was it Mohamad who came up with it? The killer, as his nickname is.
No, it was actually the matchmaker that reached out to me. Mel Valenzuela, shout out to him too. He's an amazing matchmaker. Yeah, he reached out to me with this fight, and I responded. Of course, I'm going to always respond with a yes. That's just the fighter within me. But yeah, I didn't really do any like background checks on my fighter. To be honest, I never really do. My last fight for BYB against Curtis Millender, I probably had like 2 weeks of research on him, but I just love to fight. You know, I love to fight.
No, absolutely, and according as well to the BYB guys, he's making his US debut as well. So what an upset this could be for him, or even for you to shut him down in front of a lot of the American public on 16th of September.
Yeah, September 16th. I have all my faith in my Lord and Savior, and I know that no weapon against me shall prosper. So I am very confident, but very humble at the same time going into this fight, knowing that it will all be in my favor. So, I mean, that being said, good luck to Garabi, and again, thank you for accepting the fight, because this is actually to a point where this is my make it or break it in my career. So I know exactly where my head's at, and I know how much in my heart, how much I want this fight. So.
And as you said, the last fight you had about 2 weeks' notice, or 2 weeks before you decide to, check on your opponent's strategies and how he, goes by himself in the ring and whatnot. So, has your strategy changed for this coming up fight, or is it pretty much the same as any fight you walk into?
A lot has changed, to be honest. The last fight, I realized that I let my ego get the best of me, and I love to put on a show. I love to entertain, and I realized that entertainment isn't really going to get you that far, especially if you need to solidify more wins. So I'm actually coming into this fight with a killer mentality, and to end the fight as soon as possible and end the fight with a highlight knockout. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm going to do. So I can't really explain how. I'm pretty sure my opponent is going to be watching this video, but
yes.
Oh, that yes, it's going to be by a knockout. And I'm coming to this fight with a whole different mentality. It's more so it's killed or be killed,
right,
to be honest. And like I said, this is my breaking point for my career, so I have pretty much nothing to lose at this point.
And as you said, it's like, you're in a killer mode and against the opponent who calls himself the Killer as his nickname. So it's going to be quite a fascinating bout. One of the main bouts of the night, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It's going to be fireworks for sure.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that. And again, you can watch it in person or even on Bein Sports on September the 16th. Go ahead.
I said, get your tickets now. Hit the link in BYB Extreme's bio and get your tickets now, because this is a fight you don't want to miss, to be honest.
No, exactly right. You do not want to miss this. It's going to be one of the greatest fights of the night. And you hear it first. My guess is going to knock out the Killer, who says he is the Killer. So we'll see what happens on September 16th. But I wish you the best luck in that aspect.
The real killer.
Yeah.
We'll see who's the...
Exactly. We'll see if the real killer can shoot down the wannabe killer. How about that?
Absolutely.
How about that? I like that. But I mean, I know on your Instagram earlier today, you posted out a when you reshared the post, which we both shared over the weekend and whatnot. You asked questions. You asked questions from your followers. Did you get any responses?
No. I'm guessing not. I mean, the time frame, I should have done it a lot more sooner. But I'm hoping that like later on within this fight camp, that there's more questions. That way I can entertain my viewers, my fans, and people that support me all the time. I love to give back more so than to get. I'm never that person. But yeah,
So how is
if you
your?
have
Oh,
any
go on.
if you have any questions, ask away. Feel free.
Yeah, feel free to. We'd love to hear your questions, and as well, I hope you get some responses on your own Instagram story as well, because we have been advertising your social medias across the screen. And since I've been gone, a lot has changed in the world as well. Because when I left, Twitter was still a thing, Threads didn't exist. I come back and we've got X and we've got Threads. So for the first time on this show, I can say this word. You can find my guests on Instagram, Diamond Dynasty MMA, and also on Threads. He's also on Facebook, but it was so big I couldn't actually fit on my lower third. So he's on Facebook. He's also on TikTok as well. Is it the same name? I know on Facebook it's just your name to search for you on your like page. I didn't know that. I did try to search for you on Facebook to tag you in, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me. It didn't bring no hits, so I would have tagged you otherwise. I'm going to try it again today when I post a clip of this. But what's your name on TikTok? Is it the same as Instagram or is it different?
No, it's actually Diamond Dynasty MMA 808. That's on TikTok. And then for Twitter, it's going to be D_, my last name, Kanekoa, Kanekoa.
Right, okay, fair enough. And that's one, of course, the new X platform. What's more easier to say than Twitter, in my opinion.
A lot better. It's a lot better than Twitter. It sounds a lot better.
Yeah,
I
guess, yeah.
But
we'll see.
Also, quick little some FYI moment. I will have a link tree set up for all my social media platforms, and that will be in my Instagram bio shortly. My publicist is working on that. I was just connected with a really good publicist, so all my social media is going to be handled through them. Unfortunately, later on in the future, I'm sorry guys, for my fans out there, if you guys get DMs from my Instagram accounts or social media accounts, it's not going to be me. It's going to be run by my team. It's just going to be a little bit too much. It's less hassle for me right now. I want to focus on my training camp, and what matters to me, making me a better fighter.
Understandable. So it'd be a shame not having a real interaction with yourself in the future. Instead, that'd be a shame. But hopefully we can still get you on the show through your team in the future. And I should have gone through your team as well. So hopefully they're not angry with me for the way I kind of cut them out and gone directly to you.
No, I'm kind of happy that I kind of got a few things locked in on my schedule before I'm actually just giving my team the full, I guess,
control
of everything. Yeah, I'm actually happy that I get to connect with few platforms out there before they do that. Yeah, I want to connect with my fans personally and people personally, but at the same time, as I'm growing in this sport and being put out there more into like media and all that, it's just going to be a lot more tougher for me as a fighter to focus on my social media platforms and stuff, and also my fighting at the same time. So, what's the purpose of having a management if you don't utilize them?
That's true. Again, I don't have one, so I don't know how the benefits are, but that sounds like one good benefit to have, having a good management team to manage your social media. There's so many different platforms nowadays. You have to be on everything just to keep up with everybody, isn't it? I don't see the point of it really, but of all these social medias really, because it's hard to be different on each one, isn't it?
That's my point exactly. That's more so of the stress that I'm dealing with. I'm like, oh, I gotta do this and this. It's just not fun,
Yeah.
And like I said, it should be your training. As any athlete, you're obligated to show up for press conference. Yes, you're obligated to do all of those things because that's part of your contract. And also performing. An athlete needs to be training and focused, dialed in on training, eating. Not having any distractions. So I feel like social media and all these like media like it just really affects an athlete's training regimen. So that's the reason why I'm switching it up in that way.
No, it makes perfect sense. Less distractions for you to focus on what's in front of you, the next fight or the next opportunity, and that makes perfect sense. And hopefully it will be a goal send because you can just focus on the press conferences and the actual fights and grow your popularity with each and every one.
Absolutely.
And let your team handle all the disrupting
the intricate
parts. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like that. But I mean, speaking about your day to day, what's your typical routine when you are getting ready for a big fight, and what's your routine when you are not, in a training camp?
Oof. I to be honest, I'm always working. I'm always staying busy. I love staying busy, and I was just mentioning this to one of my buddies yesterday from church, and I'm like, the more I stay busy, the more I'm not really tempted to just like be around certain crowds and stuff. So part of my training camp is just training 3 times a day, working at night, graveyard shifts. I'm also running my own business right now, so it's been a very proactive 6 months for me. But as I'm preparing for my fight, I kind of like pick up the pace a little bit more. Instead of training 3 times a day, I'm training 3 times a day and then adding in like strength and conditioning or cardio. But yeah, it depends on the fight, and it also depends on the fighter, my opponent, right?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah,
I know a lot of people, they're like, you need to stay ready all the time. You need to stay ready and train all the time. But really, you're putting your body through wear and tear. Like, why that? The same thing for sparring. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love sparring. That's my favorite day of the week, sparring. But at the same time, it's wear and tear on your body. If you're like sparring 5 times a month or 6 times a month, you're taking a lot of damage. You're taking a lot. But what I love to focus on during camp, technique and physical conditioning. I'm not trying to take away from the love and support that I'm giving to my body, and that just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I push myself and I stay very proactive.
That's good to hear. How do you feel about, these big personalities who have no idea about the world of, bare knuckle or mixed martial arts or the, sports industry, and coming in like, oh, this is a piece of cake. Like YouTubers, for instance, bringing themselves into your world type thing and bring in the average Joe with them. Do you think do you like that, or do you think they just stick to their own thing, and that's YouTube and doing YouTube videos for their viewers, or do you think that they should do more of this type of stuff?
No, I mean, yes, I agree that YouTubers should, every individual should at least compete or get into a fist fight at least once in their lifetime. I recommend that because it tests your character. It pushes you just a little bit more, just to see what you can do or could do. And I don't hate on the YouTubers and for them to like step into the ring and stuff, but it does take away from the fighters that are actually training to make it and get a higher pay grade or get a bigger paycheck. So it takes away from the people that are trying to fight so much for that limelight. That's the only thing that I'm not comfortable with. But everything else, like stepping into the fight, fighting against high level fighters, nothing wrong with it. I actually give them a lot of props for it. It takes a lot to step into a ring just to step in the ring, not to fight. It takes a lot to step in the ring and being in front of 1,000 people, like a lot of people. That takes a lot of courage. So, like I said, props to them. Other than that, just stay in your own lane,
Yeah.
stay in your own lane. That's all I'm going to say. It's a different type of fighters. Each individual is different. Fighters are either trying to cover up the pain with something in life, and they became a fighter for a reason, or they were possibly funded from a very well-off community or a well-off family where it supported their career. But some fighters actually come from the struggle, and they're trying to fill a void with fighting. So, that's the type of fighters that I'm talking about, that actually deserve the respect and deserve to be getting paid what they're worth. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Like, YouTubers should stay in their lane and give the fighters the respect that they deserve.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And would we ever see you maybe going into other sports after bare knuckle fighting, or whatever you may do after bare knuckle? Can we see you go into any other sports or anything like that?
Well, possibly. I'm actually I'm a big fan of Cage Warriors. Be honest, European based fight promotion, and I have a home in my heart for them. I've always wanted to fight in London or Paris or wherever that they have their events in Europe. That's actually a dream for me. So that's still on the table with Cage Warriors, and eventually MMA. I'm still active as an MMA fighter. I'm just focusing on the BYB aspect of it, because like I said, it pays homage to the street fighting and the things that I grew up doing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna dip my toes into that pot, because I know for a fact that it's also a freaking hefty paycheck. And not just that, but the credibility that I'm going to gain from it too as well. It all comes with it. But again, like I said, I'm not opposed to fighting in MMA ever again. I'm definitely going to compete in MMA for sure.
And it's funny you mentioned about Cage Wars as well, or Cage Warriors, I think it's called as well. Because we've had a guest on this show a few years ago as well, maybe 2 years ago, called Mason Jones. He's recently returned to that promotion. He's a Welshman. He was in the UFC. He left Cage Warriors to go to the UFC. He's now returned to Cage Warriors very much recently. So imagine you and him going out, maybe, depending if you were the same weight and whatnot.
Yeah, is that is his name? Is it the dentist?
Possibly.
Okay, I believe he's the middleweight champion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right, well, I'm just going to double check for you now. Mason Jones, and
because
he's a former Cage Warriors double champion.
Okay, and yeah, his nickname should be the dentist. So if that's him, I think me and him had a few talks on fighting each other, and I would love to fight him for sure. I mean, I think I'm ready for a dentist checkup pretty soon. So, I mean, yeah, I would love to fight against the dentist. Much respect to him for being a champ and, solidifying his foundation within Cage Warriors. But I'm coming for every single belt in middleweight. My old management was kind of like opposed to the idea of me fighting as a welterweight. I feel like I can always make welterweight, but it just doesn't feel healthy for me. But again, I'm coming for every middleweight and possibly the 205ers as well. I do love to indulge and eat, especially while I'm traveling. So we'll see.
We will
but
see.
I'm definitely coming for the gold in those two weight classes.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Can't wait to see what happens in that aspect. But I have to mention as well, BYB have been to London a few times, you know. So maybe you can come to London through them as well, perhaps. Imagine that.
I would love to. Definitely. I'm going to solidify my ranking too within BYB, and I'm going to make sure that I take that belt in the middleweight class, or I believe the boxing is different weight classes. So
Yeah.
I believe 189 or is like what I'm fighting at right now is at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I'm coming for cruiserweight belt, if we even have one. But if we don't, I guess I'm going to be the new champ for that. But yeah, I'm going to definitely solidify myself within BYB, and then, you know, get a fight in London, and then possibly go back to MMA and transition back and forth.
Oh, I like that. And then hopefully go to the, you know, hopefully the big land, and one of these bigger promotions may come calling for you to be a part of that promotion. That'd be really cool to see that.
That's true.
As well.
I look forward to London. I mean, I think BYB, we also have a contract out in Abu Dhabi as well.
Yeah.
So either one. I mean, I look forward to. I just love to travel. I love to travel. So I'm blessed with either opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to either way, whatever direction, whatever course of action it takes, my life takes.
I just hope that the BYB decides to not just go to London, but come to the rest of England. You know, come to Birmingham or Manchester or even Edinburgh or Glasgow. You know, for instance, do a Scotland show. You know, instead of saying do all London all the time, come and visit the rest of the UK. Come on, let's go. Or even Ireland as well. Come to Ireland.
I agree with that concept. You know, like going deeper into where the roots of fighting originally came. I truly agree with that. 100%. I respect your way of thinking too.
Thank you. I don't think, because if they came to Manchester, you know for a fact the Mancunian will show up for that event. No questions about it.
Absolutely.
That's the only way. That's the only way you ever see me attend a BYB event. If it comes to Manchester, I will be there.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you there too.
Yeah, you will. I do get invites to come to these London shows, but they're just a bit too far for me. They're a bit too far, like a 4-hour drive to come from here to London. You know, it's a bit like a road trip. Imagine, but I mean, never say never. Never say never. I might come to a London show in the future at the O2. You never know.
Yeah, hopefully. I didn't know it was. That's pretty far. I mean, that's like me driving to San Diego just to go and enjoy the beach or something, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is quite mad, that.
It's worth it.
Yes, it is worth it if you go to the beach. I guess it is worth it. But I mean, on these shows over here, you know, you have these Americans come over here and do shows like for instance, the WWE will come over here and they put on shows. And once they said it's 3 hours from Newcastle, which is above Manchester and just below Scotland, and they said it's 3 hours from Newcastle to London. It's not 3 hours. It's more like 5 to 6 hours from Newcastle to London. So even they don't know how long it is.
Is that driving or is that by train?
Driving. That's by driving, yeah.
But you guys do have the train, right?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. When they show up, when they decide to show up, depending on the operator and if they want to be on time or not, because usually these train companies are not on time nowadays.
Right. That's, I mean, bizarre. Totally bizarre. I've actually caught a train with my ex-wife from London to Paris.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. Yeah, that was kind of fun. I think it took us like about an hour and a half or 2 hours, I believe, but that was a good trip.
Yeah,
that was honestly
not bad.
It was not too bad at all. I mean, I probably took like a power nap or something, and I got up and I'm like, oh wow, cool, beautiful.
And of course, as well in the bare knuckle world, in the BYB, you've got one of the best ring announcers out there doing the ring announcing, Big Mo, who's been on this show as well previously. Who must be the busiest guy in the world. You know, he's doing the BYB, then he's going to do boxing, now he's doing darts. You know, is that somebody who helps to bring credibility to the BYB alongside the fighters, obviously?
Correct. Yeah, he's a great addition to the team. I'm actually honored to have him announce my name. I believe my recent fight, we sat down, we actually were taking the time to pronounce my name, and he nailed it. He did a very good job.
That's good.
Much respect to him for, you know, the following and the level of advertising and marketing that he built BYB, and he brings to BYB as well.
Same with good old Mike Goldberg as well. Can't forget about good old Mike. One of the best commentators in the world, I have to say. You know, he's a veteran of the combat world, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Again, like I said, I'm truly honored to actually have a man to represent me with that level of stature. And, you know, he's been following my career, and I'm very happy to say that. Like, it was like a fanboy moment. I'm like, shit, what, really? You're following? But yeah, it was super, you know, shout out to him too. The whole team over at BYB Extreme, they're very accommodating, loving, you know, their family. It's a family there. And that's what matters to me. And that's the reason why I signed with BYB. I wouldn't put my life into hands of people that I did not trust. So great. Shout out to Dada 5000 too. He's been around the bare knuckle fight world. Yeah, he's doing some great things with the Mighty Trigon. He's doing some great things.
I have to say that earlier on in our conversation, you mentioned about your business. Can we dive more into that? You know, what kind of business it is, and if you want to plug it, feel free to. But I'm just intrigued to know more about your business now, since you kind of dropped it earlier on in our conversation.
Yeah, so I'm running a celebrity security services where it's more tailored to high-level security. That way, I'm just working with a direct clientele, celebrities. Nice. To be. That's been great, very lucrative. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's where I live now and reside. There's tons of opportunity here, and I'm the type of person, like, I live by carpe diem, where I seize the moment. And if you don't utilize the area that you live in, then why are you even living there? You know, so it's been great for my business. So I have that, and I also have Diamond Dynasty MMA LLC. That's a fitness business where it's tailored for strength and conditioning, mixed martial arts, self-defense, all those. And that's something that I've been working on. That's my main focus, because I want to give back to the mixed martial arts community. I want to give back to those that are having a hard time, you know, maintaining that membership fee. I know it can be very expensive being able to train at certain camps here in Scottsdale or elsewhere in the world. So I want to be able to have a program where it's tailored for individuals that are having a hard time, you know. But yeah, eventually that's going to be the goal, to actually set up a shop in Hawaii, where I'm from, and that's going to be my headquarters. And I'm going to have other gyms elsewhere, like Arizona, Miami, and stuff. So the main places that I know that's going to be very lucrative for me.
Yeah, and very popular as well in demand. So I wish you luck there and going to see more about that as you progress in that adventure. Speaking about I'm very intrigued about your security department, because I'm sure your hightail celebrities who you help to, I guess, protect or whatever, must be very happy to know you're going to be protecting them, because they probably know you can protect yourself and you can mean business if needed, type thing.
Or- And my buddy came up with the idea, and I guess one of his friends run a security business in Las Vegas, and I'm like, damn, dude, I have all the gifts in order to run a security business. So like, and I also have potential fighters that also need a job,
Yeah.
and it aligns with their work. So it just makes sense for me to like, okay, why not just make this into a business? Where our clients feel safe because they know that we are trained killers, not just the security services, but also trained killers. So, that's more so why I dived into that area of expertise.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I bet you've had a lot of. I bet it's kind of exceeded you up your part of your vision, because you probably didn't expect to get so many high tail celebrities using your services, or maybe you did as well. So it's very very good.
Absolutely. I mean, I am working with quite a few big names right now. So because of NDA reasons, I can't really disclose their names and stuff. But yeah, it's just like it's been so lucrative. I'm able to fund everything that I need for training.
That's good.
Um, Also for like whatever like expenses. Like the thing about fighters and their lives and their lifestyles is that it's very expensive, and you know we may look like we don't need that much things, but we need a lot of attention. We need a lot of love to our body and stuff. So the thing that racks up the most on bills, medical, and not having a job where it supports that medical those needs or anything like that, it makes life harder for a fighter.
Mm.
You're stacking up bills, and then whenever you're making money from your purse or your sponsorships, it goes straight to the bills, and you're not saving anything. You're pretty much taking away from your pocket. Why? Because you're trying to chase your passion. To me, if you're just trying to fight in order to make ends meet, you're not fulfilling your passion. You want to be comfortable. You want to make enough money to where you can invest all your time and effort into your passion and do what you love doing without stress, without bills, without anything that's going to hold you back from being a professional athlete. I don't know. That's what I think. That's what is embedded into my brain, into my heart, and that's the reason why I am who I am. But every other fighter is different, you
Yeah.
know.
No.
But to shed light, I mean, I believe the UFC were like they're in like some bet with Jake Paul. Dana White was in like a bet with Jake Paul about medical if he were to like fight or some shit like that. That the UFC would be required to give all the UFC fighters medical attention or whatever insurance.
Hmm.
That right there, game changer. So, like I said, I have respect for some of the things that the YouTubers say, because but not everything. And again, like I said, medical if that was covered, it would be a lot more easier for a fighter to like sustain their expenses.
Yeah. No, no, totally agree with you there. Before we let you go, we have mentioned. I'm guessing I could be wrong. Do you keep up with your boxing?
I do. Yeah, I actually training with a few people right now at a boxing camp, and
Nice.
I'm trying not to post it on my page, even though I'm looking great, feeling crispy. It's kind of hard for me because I do know that my opponent is on my page and he's been scoped me out,
Fair
which is
enough.
great. Which is great. I mean, he's doing his work. That's what you're supposed to do as an athlete. You do your work. Um, But yeah, then again, I know that I shouldn't be posting things that's gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, I've been working my boxing, and I've been focusing on hitting the mitts and working with um, sparring partners with smaller gloves, but I need to incorporate a day where I can actually engage into a sparring match without gloves. It kind of sucks because most of the training partners that I have, they have a fight coming up and they can't get injured. So it kind of sucks. How can you prepare yourself for a bare knuckle fight if you can't spar as if you're getting ready for a bare knuckle fight? So that's the only small little detail that I'm missing. And I've been putting it out there. Like, I've been putting it out there to where I'll pay someone to have a sparring match with me, a bare knuckle sparring match with me. So yeah, that's out there. If anyone's hearing this right now, tap in, DM me, and let's get a sparring session set up soon.
Yeah. Ahead of his big fight on September 16th, which I'll come back to in just a moment. But I was just wondering because over the weekend, Jake Paul, he fought, but that isn't the reason why I was wanting to talk about that. It's because it was more about, if you heard the news about, because there's going to be a big boxing match, which is happening in October, between Anthony Joshua against Dillian White. But of course, that's been cancelled because apparently Dillian White has some a drug test came back or something. Apparently, they found drug in his system. Have you heard about this story? What's your take on it, by the way? If you have a side or anything?
I don't know. You know, the supplements that we take. That's the reason why I'm so like, okay. I worry about what I put in my body, and that's the reason why I don't take supplements, because you never know what the hell you're taking. I mean, yeah, it does say it's printed out with freaking a million different ingredients into this specific supplement, right? So, but that being said, like, fighters need to know what they're taking, and if not, eat naturally, eat natural food. You know, we've been programmed to eat these different type of things nowadays that's like redirecting us from the direct source, which is food, protein, meat, all these things that makes us healthy. You know, I don't know. My take on it is like, okay, do your research on what you're taking, and maybe you won't be so susceptible to getting busted or whatever, or testing negative. Just be more smart about it. That's it. That's just
no, good point to make. Good point to make, because he's come out and said that he denies any knowledge of taking any supplements, has any drugs or whatever in it. So it's an interesting case, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it's sort of for show, and maybe he doesn't want to admit to it because he might feel embarrassed. Maybe, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out the truth somehow, some way in the future. But before we let you go, I just want to again plug the upcoming fight here on September the 16th on Bein Sports. And if you want to be there, tickets are available right now through the BYB Extreme website. So be there and witness history in the making in Mississippi on September the 16th. And I'll let the final word before we hang this up to yourself. How?
Everyone, tune in September 16th, Biloxi, Mississippi. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets, go over to BYB Extreme, tap into their bio, and get your tickets now. If not, you can purchase them online. If you guys want to view the fights, it's on Bein Sports. Hit the link, tap in. This is a fight that you guys do not want to miss. My name is Kealii Kanekoa, God's champion. Love you guys. Much support to my fight fans, family, friends, and everyone out there. God bless you all.
Indeed. And you can find him on social media, on Facebook, the Instagram, the Threads, the X, and on the TikTok as well. And many other platforms you may be on, because there's so many nowadays, it's hard to keep up. But it's been a privilege having you on the show, and I hope after whatever happens on September 16th, you'll come back on the show and we can discuss it and see what's next for you.
Look forward to it, Edward. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, no problem at all. And if you enjoyed the episode, then make sure to smash that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this show and about my guest tonight. Are you interested in bare knuckle? Are you interested in the conversation about the boxing and about the YouTubers getting involved in the combat world? And as well, do you want to see me at a BYB show? I don't think you do, but if you do, leave a comment, let me know. Make sure to follow me on my social media on the screen right now. And as well, it takes 10 seconds or less to subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more content like this, then subscribe right now. We've got over 211 subscribers who stuck with me for 4 months without any content. So you're very loyal if you're one of them people who stuck here without any content for 4 months. But I'm back tonight, and I'm back again, hopefully very soon. Not 4 months, you can guarantee it. But until the next episode drops, enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon or night.